Right, so we're discussing the wedding planner. And the wedding planner in this case is Yahweh. And we're now entering into the third part of this prophetic annual festival as we celebrate freedom from spiritual slavery. It's not just about Egypt. We celebrate freedom from slavery as well. And it's freedom from that Saviour that enables us to follow our kinsman Redeemer, Yeshua HaMashiach, on a journey through this present age wilderness in which we're just temporary dwellers passing through. And we're completely reliant for direction and provision on our Heavenly Abba. But as I've said many times before, how long our journey actually takes to complete is in our hands. We decide how long our journey takes and how fast we go, based on our behaviour and our trust. So often we get comfortable and decide we're going to stay in a particular spot when He wants us to move on. And He won't push us. All He'll do is just rise up and move on. And it's our responsibility to follow Him or not. And as always, going through the wilderness, it's a process of allowing Him to strip away our old slave mentality. And just like those that came out of Egypt, we had a slave mentality. Otherwise known these days as being like a street kid. And along with the slave mentality comes a whole train of destructive habits and total reliance on our old slave environment and its harsh rulers, where we used to just do whatever it took to survive. We weren't living, we were surviving. It's a sure sign of a slave mentality when somebody's just trying to survive, to get by. And yet we need to let Him train and equip us for our new life within the boundaries of the kingdom that He's prepared in advance for us. And that's where He wants us to go, to the kingdom that He's prepared. And He wants us to let go of those old strategies that we used to use in our lives. He has to prepare us for the kingdom. The kingdom's already been prepared for us in advance. But of course, this is modern day. We're not living in Israel. So why do we need to dwell in sukkahs? Aren't we just being traditional? What's the point? This is the 21st century after all. Because obedience is all about carrying out His instructions with a permanent attitude of gratitude as we go back to the basics, remembering who and what we are, where we've come from and where we're going and what our purpose is. We need to examine our reasons for being on this speck of dust spinning through a vast limitless universe. We need to selah. We need to pause and reflect on the journey so far, and also to reflect on the need for any changes. Do we need to lay things down? Do we need to reassess our priorities by comparing notes with Yahweh? Because if our plans don't match His, then we need to change them. Right now, today. Most people in this room are on the same book as Him. But are we on the same page? He's already given us our mission guidebook. We just need to follow it and complete the journey. These are our instructions. This is our map book. And the first step along the journey is that all materialism has to go. And that's very hard because we're living in a materialistic society that runs completely on that. Everything's about buying and selling. Everything's about the toys that we have. The law of the jungle has to go. These are all slave mentalities. We have to let go of the modern day, it's all about me, extreme lifestyles. Along with all the unnecessary toys not listed on his equipment list. We need to check out his equipment list and find out if all of our toys are on it. If they're not, we need to get rid of them. Are they doing us any good, or are they hindering us? In fact, all of the man-made traditions, all of the cultures and all of the idols have to go. It's his kingdom, his rules, his way, or the broad highway. And absolutely no compromise. And it's tough because it may mean leaving behind old friendships. Not being able to have anything in common with those who simply cannot or will not accept what they see as our rejection of their culture and traditions, their society's way of life and standards. And because of that, they tell us that we're mishugga, we're crazy, and that it's our choice that simply isn't logical. The good news is they're absolutely right. It isn't logical, it's spiritual. And can only be understood or discerned by the Spirit, by the Ruach. So why do we dwell in booths at Sukkot? To remind us who we are, where and what we've escaped from, and how far we've come. We don't examine how far other people have come, we examine how far we've come. That's what counts. We don't worry about how far we haven't gone yet. We look back and measure how far we've actually come. That's the important thing. So what did it take to get us this far intact? It also reminds us to eagerly look towards the Messiah's return at this time of year. Sometime in the near future. Do we know what year he's coming? Absolutely not. Do we know when he's coming? Yes. At the time of Sukkot. It's a time to check and keep our lamps, us, ready. Is our lamp full of oil? So that when we hear the shofar sound and wake up to the cry of, the bridegroom is here, let's go out to meet him. Baruch haba b'Hashem Yahweh, blessed is he who comes in the name of Yahweh. We live in booths, we dwell in booths to remember that man doesn't live by bread alone, but by every word that comes from the mouth of Yahweh. And we remember to thank him for meeting all of our needs, plus the occasional desires of our heart. Why does he give us desires of our hearts? Because it reflects his Father's heart. And it's a Father's heart in action that counts. Then above and beyond all of that, he gives us an abundance of blessings as well. Why? Because he trusts us to share them unconditionally with others. He trusts us to be an extension of his hands and heart. And not just keep them for ourselves. This is the time to reflect on the enough principle, which is a principle that says we need to be satisfied with just enough to meet our needs. Not too little, not too much. It's the message of the man who, or what is it, in the wilderness. It's a lesson that teaches you that if you hide it or hoard it, it will rot and turn to dust. We dwell in booths to refocus on the importance of the way we complete our journey. Because the lessons that we learn on the journey will determine our character and our ability to reach the destination safely and qualified to reap the satisfaction and rewards of a job well done. As we arrive united with our fellow travellers, it's not enough to just arrive and be joyful that we've arrived. We need to make sure as many others as possible arrive with us. We will arrive with those who've encouraged and guided us along the way, and also those that we've encouraged and guided along the way. Those who've bathed our wounds and set us back on our feet, and those that we've helped to restore to health. It's a time to remember that we were once slaves to sin, and that everything we have and all that we are comes from our kinsman Redeemer, Yeshua HaMashiach. We have absolutely nothing to boast about in our own limited human abilities. We dwell in booths to reflect on what is truly important. Relationships are important. Food and shelter are important. Freedom from slavery, from any person or group or thing that we allow to control us, is important. Trust is important. Faithfulness is important. Character and integrity are important. Our sense of identity, of who we are in Him, not what we do, is important. We are human beings, not human doings. And yes, surprisingly, there is exactly enough time to do everything that He asks of us. He doesn't put us on a clock that's too short an amount of time. He gives us exactly enough time to do what He asks. And also exactly enough time to rest. Oh, I haven't got time to rest. Yes, you have. Including Shabbat. And He gives us exactly enough time to spend with Him. It all comes down to priorities. His, ours, or the world's. We get to choose. Kingdom Standard Time never changes. There's no daylight saving. Kingdom Standard Time stays the same. Doesn't change. Doesn't get any faster, doesn't get any slower. Kingdom Standard Time is pretty simple. When it's light, it's daytime. And when it's dark, it's night time. It's that simple. Genesis 1:5, evening and morning, one day, making a complete day. Yes, I have visions for the future, but do I have a 10-year plan? No. I can have the visions for the future, but I'm only allowed to work on a one day at a time plan. Anything else is arrogant. It's like the guy with the crops. What I'd like to do is fine, but I don't make plans to do it. I just have visions for what I'd like to do. He gives me the time, but my focus is on the one day at a time plan. It's enough.
So that's how the Jewish people got through the Shmita.
Exactly. One day at a time. How do you start a journey? You put one foot in front of the other. You don't worry about if your shoes will run out in 1,000 miles. You just put one foot in front of another and He'll just equip you and guide you each day.
But the thing about the 40 years in the desert, the clothes didn't deteriorate.
No, they didn't. Exactly.
And their ankles never swelled up either.
No.
What was that? Would you get this to see? No.
So anything other than that is arrogant and presumptuous. But that doesn't mean that I can't dream or plan ahead. It just means it has to be His dreams and His plans. Sukkot is our annual appointment for a spiritual checkup. It's our KFC, our Kingdom Fitness Certificate. Stage 1 is a full hearing test to determine if we can hear what the Ruach is saying to us and the body. Then we have an equipment check. Are we standing firm? Is our belt of truth on tight? Are we wearing our breastplate of righteousness correctly? Are our sandals of readiness to go forth done up tightly? And is our shield of trust polished and raised? Is our helmet of deliverance firmly fitted? And our sword of the Ruach razor sharp and ready for action? If you pass that comes stage 2. Are we exhibiting the genuine kosher fruit of the Spirit in our daily lives, including love, joy, shalom, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, humility, self-control, and our old nature fixed firmly on the execution stake? Then finally, stage 3, are we loving one another unconditionally? Are we forgiving one another unconditionally? Are we loving our Abba, our Elohim, with all our heart and soul and strength, and loving our neighbour in the same way as ourselves on a daily basis? Are we going where and when we're sent to teach and equip people from all nations to be Yeshua's Talmudim? And are we teaching them by our own example to observe the absolute complete truth and obey everything commanded, not suggested, commanded by Yeshua? And then the ultimate stage, stage 4. Are we living in His presence on a second by second, minute by minute, hour by hour basis? Communicating the real us and listening openly and spending quality time with Him as we build that sense of intimacy, trust and mutual respect? Are we ready, willing and able to receive His answers to our questions, our prayers, and without any hesitation putting them into action, fulfilling His instructions wherever, whenever and however He asks it, with no compromises? Just because I have a passport that qualifies and authorises me to travel, it could be a document that I may have memorised every word of, but it's absolutely useless to me unless I actually go somewhere. Just because you've got a passport and you draw it home doesn't make you a traveller. It just gives you potential. You have to actually go somewhere and get on the right plane to the right destination. If I just put it away in a drawer, it has absolutely no relevance to the present or future of my life, or to those that I will never get to meet and share information with, or more importantly, interact with. Of course, some people may be nervous about travelling somewhere unfamiliar. But if you don't, then yours and many others' futures are definitely at stake. Now for the good news. After all the stages have been completed successfully, you can stand in His presence with complete confidence and a clean bill of health. And then finally, after letting Him deal with any other outstanding issues that He identifies, then we become ready, willing and able to be restored to active duty. So the point is, are you ready? Have you completed your health check? Do you have your kingdom passport up to date? Are your wedding clothes clean and pressed? Will you be an honoured guest or a rejected wannabe? A rejected try-hard? It is, of course, entirely your choice. But please make sure that your lamp is constantly topped up with oil, ready and prepared for the bridegroom's triumphant return, however, friend. So Chag Sameach Sukkot Talmudim. Happy Festival of Booths, students. Shalom.